gratitude for our cooperative members. Farm Credit Illinois wishes you a safe and bountiful fall. Visit farmcreditil.com to learn more about FCI's cooperative advantages.
WHOW Combine Reports are brought to you by AAK Mechanical in Clinton, Apex Clean Energy, Baum Chevy Buick, Farm Credit Illinois, Peterson Insurance, Longview Community Bank, Illinois Corn Marketing Board, State Bank of Bement, and Macon County Farm Bureau.
You're finding Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is my man, Stu Williams with the Piatt County Sheriff's Office. Good to see you, Stu. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thanks for coming out and talking with us. Always good to have you in the studio, my friend. And a lot going on in the Sheriff's Office. I know you're lead investigator over there for Sheriff Vogelzang, and he's probably off today? Did he take a day off?
No, he actually, the courthouse is closed, so he's supposed to take days off, but he was in yesterday, so he might be making it up today. I haven't been in yet, so I don't know.
There's a running joke with Sheriff Walker here in DeWitt and Sheriff Vogelzang that they both take a lot of time off. Is the theory, I'm told. So, but at any rate, a lot going on with the Sheriff's Office, and you were telling me before we got started, scams are really something that you're just seeing a lot of lately. What are you noticing, Stu?
Around our neck of the woods, we've had a couple. I call it check washing. I don't know exactly the term. But long story short, when you send a check in the mail, at some point it's getting intercepted. They sometimes it's really good. Sometimes it's really not that good, where they just white it out, rewrite the amount number using your signature. And then you find out later that $800 check to pay for gas or something for your farm equipment has now turned into a $8,000 thing. And then you're trying to track it all the way through. So we've had, I want to say 4 or 5 of those here in the last couple of months.
Wait,
and
so
I know some other counties that have dealt with it too.
They're getting it out of the mail?
Yeah. So all our victims have said oh, I sent that check in the mail. It was either for to FS or, to pay their power bill or pay some type of bill. So the amounts are in the hundreds, and then all of a sudden they become thousands of dollars. And it's the common denominator is I put the check in the mail. So,
yeah. So
I don't know
is it
if
just getting taken out of the mailbox, or?
I think it's getting somewhere once it gets to the general post office. I think that's where it's getting taken.
Wow.
But there's no sure way to know. But then you're trying. Luckily, we've been able to track and ID people who have used the check. We have them on camera and stuff. So that has helped. Cameras obviously have helped a lot, right. And they're doing it locally. So it's not like someone in California, where would be really hard for me to go to California and see some guy. Actually, a couple of the people we've been able to identify, oh, that's so-and-so, or that's so-and-so, or another department knew who they were when we showed them the video. So
interesting. Just
inter-departments working to ID people together. So yeah, it's a lot of moving parts.
That's something.
Yeah.
So are they making out a new recipient for the check and a new amount and all those things?
Yes. And like I said, some are actually pretty sophisticated, and then some are just really bad where they write out and they have actually used their name.
Yeah.
So it's it's you on video and the name. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh,
yeah.
It wasn't me.
So a lot of a lot of the people, or a lot of the perpetrators, are known commodities. It sounds like.
Yep. They do some of them are better where they'll go to a store and buy something, make their purchases, and use that check to make that purchase, and it's a little better. But I've seen one where it was just white out, and it's I don't know what bank would accept that.
Yeah. So, in that circumstance, Stu, one, is that money recoverable at that point?
Yeah. So a lot of times your banks, that's like the insurance that the banks have and stuff, they do it. And then they send out their investigators. And then when you figure out who it is and you make their arrest, like maybe they don't go to prison, but they have to pay the restitution to get the money back. But most times, in my experience, the people's banks have given the money back to them. So like the person's not out the money, and then the bank is the one that gets the money through restitution.
Yeah, they're insured probably.
Yeah.
So
the banks have been really good to our victims,
Yeah.
which is always nice.
Yeah, absolutely. How long does it take for the victim to realize that's gone on?
Sometimes it's very short, and then sometimes it's, oh, you know what? The power just called and said I didn't make this payment, and then they go and look, and like, I got cashed, but that's not the amount I made, and then it's 2-3 months. It just depends if you're paying attention to like how well you pay attention. I know my wife just sent a check, and I was like, don't send it, and then like you need to check it like every day to make sure that sucker clears.
Yeah, right.
There's ways like if you're sending checks in the mail, maybe like obviously they're finding like there's something that tells the person that, hey, there's probably a check in here. So you know, I mean,
well, we get checks all the time out here. It's easy to tell what is a check or what's a bill, all those things.
I will give my father-in-law credit. He sent me a check, and he put it in like this basic envelope, and then he like act like it was like the just notebook paper, and made it look like a letter. I was like, why is he sending me a letter? And then there's a check in it, and it was nothing on the letter. So I'll give him credit. That's a way no one touched that check, so that was good.
Yeah. Well, and to that end, how do you prevent this if you're an individual?
You know, it might be me being a younger generation. Checks kind of make me nervous because there's a lot of information on the check. So, you know, paying digitally, but obviously when you pay online and stuff, that opens another can of worms for, you know, cyber crimes and stuff. Just when you do send a check, you know, stay on your bank account, and then the moment it gets deposited, like either make sure like it went, or, you know, banks are really good that you see the check, and that's how we've been able to recover. Like, oh, that was white out. That's a different name, or sometimes it did not look like it got changed, but it definitely got changed because that's not who they wrote the check to. So just trying to stay, you know, just keep double checking and stuff. It's sad that we live in a world that when you send a check, you have to basically check twice a day to make sure it's got to where it needs to go. But yeah, you can try to change the way the envelopes look, or, you know, notebook paper, like just different ways to try to throw it off. Because obviously there's something that is making that envelope or check, like there's probably a check in the envelope, so let's take that one, because not a lot of mail is actually getting stolen. So they're pretty good at figuring out which one's which.
Man, that's interesting how they are able to infiltrate the mail system. That's wild.
And see, that's the thing, they won't tell you.
No.
So it's, you know, we all have our different theories on it, but until you get proof of it, you can't really do anything on that front.
Right.
So.
Sure. Are you seeing the same perpetrators?
A lot of times it's maybe not them every time, but it's like a group. Like it's
someone
like,
they're associated with.
like up in the bigger cities, the retail theft rings where they're probably, it's like a group of people, and they like, hey, this is what we do, and then they just take turns.
Sure. Oh, sure.
Yeah, they just take turns, so that it's not always one person on it, and they share the money or whatever they do with it.
Yeah, gotcha. Man, that's something. That's something. Wow. Sergeant Stu Williams with the Piatt County Sheriff's Office in studio with us this morning. Any other scams you're noticing, Stu?
Obviously the phone calls, the random phone calls. Obviously, as AI gets better, you can literally, like, obviously, like, for example, me, Sergeant Stuart Williams with the sheriff's office. It's a smaller department. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows like our names pretty good. So they can call and then they can use AI to kind of make it sound like me and then say like, hey, we're looking for donations and this and that, or you have a warrant, you need to pay X amount of dollars. I'm telling you, we would never call to tell you you have a warrant, you need to pay X amount of dollars. And Illinois is now a no cash bond. So if they're telling you you need to pay any amount of money to not get arrested in Illinois, that should be your first sign that it's a scam, because we don't have cash bonds anymore.
Yeah.
The IRS scams. As AI gets better, it's going to get tougher to tell like what's a scam, what not. I would always say trust your gut. A big one, it tends to get the older generation where they tell you to go either buy like an iTunes gift card or something and give me the code, because once you give the person the code, it's like untraceable. Like for us to track it down, and they're either across the country or across the world, and it just gets into an Apple account and you can't track where it went.
Yeah.
So if someone's telling you you need to pay through like iTunes cards or gift cards, or go to your Dollar General and buy a pack, like that should be a warning sign too. Like, don't do it. If you ever have any doubt, I would call the sheriff's office and just say like, is this normal? And we normally can tell pretty quickly if it is or not.
You talked about the scams targeting seniors. Are you able to help them much in terms of getting money back?
Sometimes not, like the gift cards and stuff. It's really hard to get them back because, the banks on the same hand, they can't tell what was a scam, what wasn't. There's gift cards here, you made the purchase. Like at some point, does it fall back to the person that did it? Now, like whose problem is it really? And then until you find somebody who actually did it, we can't give them the money back. So it's really tough. I'm not going to lie to you. But we try the best we can.
Are those kind of the two big things you've seen a lot lately is scams?
Yeah. And then, like patrol, the driving.
Yeah, sure.
That obviously that's always, we've had a lot of serious accidents recently.
Okay.
That's kind of concerning. Obviously, anyone watches the news, Route 32, Route 36 is a nightmare. There's actually been a couple of fatalities on top of some serious accidents. Just trying to make drivers aware. Well,
I'll tell you what, on that note, let's break and we'll talk about that on the other side, if that's okay. Sergeant Stu Williams with the Piatt County Sheriff's Office is my guest in studio today. More to come with Stu on the morning show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Tuesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. Corn, beans, and Chicago wheat all starting the day lower. December corn opening 409 3/4 down a penny. March corn down 1.5, 425 3/4. May corn 435 1/4 down 1 1/4. November beans opening 1002 3/4 down a nickel. January beans down 4 3/4, 1020 1/2, and March beans 1035 1/4 down 4 3/4. December wheat starting today 493 1/4 down 3 1/2. March wheat down 3 1/2, 509 3/4. May wheat 521 3/4 down 3 1/2. December bean meal 274.30 up 20 cents, and December bean oil 50.09 down 51 cents. Opening numbers on this Tuesday morning. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
Closeout time is here for a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have a good selection of 25 Silverados remaining in regular and crew cab models with gas or diesel engines. Some with utility beds and dual rear wheels. Also see our remaining Colorados, Trailblazers, even our full-size Suburban and Tahoes, all priced to move out. See our 25 inventory today at bombchevybuick.com, right from the start.
At Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, you get the independent lifestyle you want without the huge price tag. It's half the cost of most independent living options. No stairs, no worries. All duplexes have an attached garage. They're accessible, safe, and private. Say goodbye to maintenance and hello to freedom, because now you can go do whatever you want to do. If you're 55 or better, it's time to simplify your life. Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth. Independent living done right. Find out more by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Sergeant Stu Williams from the Piatt County Sheriff's Office in studio with us today. And Stu, you left off the last segment talking about some pretty serious, rash of serious accidents on your county highways and state highways. What's going on there? What are you seeing?
Yeah, for example, Route 32, Route 36, it's a big intersection, but traffic on 36 does not stop. It's only a two-way stop, so it's only 32 that stops. And a lot of times you'll see people just pull up to the stop sign, just assume that it's a four-way stop, and then they start going again. And obviously people on 36 are traveling at least 55. I'm not naive. Most people travel faster than 55 on Route 36. A combination of speed, obviously cell phones, being on your cell phones and stuff, that's still a big thing. And then sometimes, you're driving out in the country and the corn and stuff, and you just get sometimes distracted with the environment, and then you're not paying attention, and you come up on a intersection, and those cars become missiles and cause some serious injuries. We've had some fatalities recently. Obviously, from a sheriff standpoint, we just try to educate drivers. Hey, just be aware, look for signs, drive the speed limit. There's reasons why there's a speed limit. We're not just out trying to write speeding tickets to generate money or anything like that. A lot of times you'll see us, patrol does a really good job of being out on the roads, pulling people over. A lot of times they probably are just giving warnings. But, as drivers, you see, you don't know if that person is getting a ticket or not, but you see the sheriff's office is out making stops. I should probably look down. And I know I still do it to this day. Anytime I'm driving, the first thing I do when I see a cop is let off the gas, because I'm like, well, oh, okay. And then I go back. Yeah, I still do it sometimes in my squad car.
Yeah.
But, just being aware, nothing's too important. Last year we had that fatal hit and run. Just a lady out walking in the country, and, she gets hit by a car and passes away. It was tragic. But that was something that was avoidable. I would say most car crashes are avoidable, which is also disconcerting, because it's this isn't something that actually needed to happen, but for whatever reason it happens. So we try to get proactive on preventing as much as we can, but at the end of the day, you can't control what people do. And
right. Well, and that's, that's an area of the county where you've probably got, people from all over the place. It's not just Piatt County drivers there.
Absolutely.
So, to educate your constituency is, great, but that's not all who that drives in that spot. So.
Absolutely. So, I just warn people, especially with harvest. I know I didn't grow up in Piatt County, so the first time I started working here, I was like, man, them suckers are really big up close, and you definitely don't want to hit one. I know the fire department's been dealing with a lot of combine fires, and that creates its own thing. That can create traffic issues as well. Driving through smoke and stuff, and then congested roadways and stuff.
Well, and even the dust of the harvest.
Yeah,
there's some roads get real dusty when those guys are out.
Yes, they do. And then we're getting close to winter, and Winter brings ice, and those are the worst days to work. So just extra time, give extra space between cars, slow down, don't jam on brakes, because on ice you just slide. Just take your time. Don't be in a rush to get places.
Sure. Good advice, too. Well, coming up on the final few minutes with you, my friend, I know October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I talked to the Willow Tree folks. They tell me they're dealing with this day in and day out. What are you seeing, my friend?
Yeah, so I don't see it as much in investigations. Patrol sees it a lot. They, a lot of times we go to, it's luckily a lot of times when we get there, it's just verbal. So we can try to de-escalate it, find a resolve for the night. Because, obviously domestics can be very emotional. If you can get a cool down period, a lot of times cooler heads prevail.
For the time being.
Yeah. But then there's some where once it starts, I hate to say it, normally doesn't get better. Once someone lays their hands on you once, they almost feel like they're entitled, and it just gets worse and worse. And, don't be afraid. Find somebody that you can talk to, that maybe they can be the middleman. You tell your friend, who then tells us. And Willow Tree is amazing with what they do, their resources and the stuff they do. When I was on patrol, I would work a couple domestics with them, and the ladies there, I'm just blown away with what they're willing to do to help people, and the amount of time that they're probably not getting paid. It's volunteer. Like, the amount of time they spend to help one person is actually mind boggling with how well they do with their resources.
Gotcha. Very good, Stu. Well, I'll tell you what, on that note, I don't know if you're able to tell us, but how do folks follow along with the department? Are you on Facebook, anything like that?
Our department does have a Facebook page. I have nothing to do with it. I am not on Facebook, but on Facebook, we do have a website as well. And then our number, our non-emergency line, if you ever need to get it, is 217-762-5761. If you have just random questions for police officers, I always suggest, if you do see a officer out in your town and you want to talk to them, the guys love, their shifts are long. They love to talk to people that they'd never met. That's why they get into the business.
Sure, very good. Sergeant Stu Williams with the Piatt County Sheriff's Office, our guest in studio. Network news on the way.
The Big 50.